Hi, this is Jen Grice from jengrice.com. I am a divorce and empowerment coach for women who are recovering from abuse and or adultery. I'm also the author of the book You Can Survive Divorce. You can find out more about me at jengrice.com. So recently I wrote a blog article about the dangers or when it becomes dangerous when divorcing or married to a narcissist. And I wanted to follow up, or I said that I would follow up with a video about preparing a safety plan or an escape plan, whatever you want to call it, because sometimes it is dangerous, and we may not even realize how dangerous it is when divorcing or married to a narcissist. So before I get started, I want to let you know that I will have a bunch of links below to other expert websites. I don't work for any domestic violence shelter, but I definitely encourage people to reach out for help from them. I also will link below to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, and they have a list of types of safety planning, and especially if you have kids or pets or when you're pregnant and that sort of thing. But this will be kind of general today on what you should do when creating a safety plan. Seek help from others. Most times when a woman is killed, it's because she tried to handle the situation on her own. I had a friend who was in an abusive relationship, but it wasn't, he was threatening, but he wasn't violent, or she didn't think he would be violent. Her estranged husband ended up killing her and her teenage son, and then killed himself afterwards. It's tragic when these things happen, and so we want to make sure that they don't happen in the future. It's not that we're blaming these victims for not doing the right things, it's just that maybe they didn't know what they needed to do, or a lot of times that they assumed that it wasn't as bad as it really was. And I know I've been in that situation as well, and so we just want to learn from and have a safety plan in place for ourselves. So most counties and states in the United States have local domestic violence shelters, and they are trained and knowledgeable about your state or county laws, as well as what services and professionals can help you. They often have legal services or free or low-cost movers, and they can teach you how to call 911 in your area when you're facing a scary situation. I reached out to my local domestic violence shelter, even though I wasn't experiencing any physical violence. I talked to a lawyer. I met with an advocate who gave me advice, legal advice and other advice. And I'm thankful for the services that they use. They went to court with me and empowered me to take my life back and to create a new life. So don't be afraid to reach out to your shelter. I know it's kind of embarrassing at sometimes. I hear from clients who say, well, I can't because what if somebody from my church sees me going into the shelter, or they feel like they would, ruin their ex's reputation or their own. And I want to encourage you that these services are available for everybody, not just somebody who is, poor or, in a situation where there's violence. It's for everyone. And they are, like I said, trained to help you in these situations, and you don't have to live there. I never lived in the shelter, but I did use their services, and I'm very thankful that I did. I really thought that I would be the type of person helping the people at the shelter. I know our church in the past had donated to the shelter, and I always did my part to donate as well, but the service is also there for people who need it. So after you've done all of that, you've contacted your shelter and see how they could help you. You want to plan a bag, or have a bag, or start a bag, or start moving necessities to a relative or a friend or some other safe place that you know that you can escape to if you need to. Your bag, you put it in your trunk or put it somewhere where you know that your spouse will not find it, or like I said, or move stuff, say that, put it in a garbage bag and say it's all donations to charity, whatever it is you need to do to hide personal possessions that you'll need if you need to escape. A lot of times women will have an experience where they feel they need to leave, and if you're just leaving with your purse, that's hard for you and your kids to start off with nothing, or expect your soon-to-be ex to give you possessions after you've left. So you just want to be prepared with a bag of clothes and toiletries and maybe some snacks if you need to escape. And you can go to a shelter if you need to, or you can stay at a friend's house or another relative, or wherever you feel safe. And always try to document if you can, like do a video or a recording when you're leaving, so that you have evidence that you didn't leave because you were trying to retaliate against your ex. You left because you felt it was unsafe conditions for you and your children. And lastly, I want to talk about is that so many times women will just tell their abuser that they're leaving, or their husband. You might not even think he's an abuser because he hasn't been violent, but a lot of times women will tell their spouse that they're leaving, that they're getting their own place. They might secure a new apartment, ask family and friends for help moving. Then the abuser, his response to the leaving is to get violent and to kill his family. There's been many cases of that in the United States where, the woman was leaving, or, separating or breaking up or whatever it was, and told her, significant other that she was done with the relationship. And then he ended up killing her or the children and himself. You want to make sure that those kind of things are kept secret. You don't tell him if you suspect that there's any possibility that there's some cruelty or retaliation he might do. And then you might also, and this is where the domestic violence shelter comes in, is you might need to have some kind of personal protection order to protect you from him coming to you wherever you're at and harassing you or becoming violent. So that's why those services are there. They can handle all of that for you. So I just want you to be safe. Until next time, God bless.